We want to welcome Jamie Lockhart as presenter of the call tonight. Is going to share with us a little bit about social media and how it has helped her grow a very successful, her successful Young Living business. Jamie has done extremely well with Young Living. I believe she hit the rank of gold. So we're just blessed and grateful, Jamie, that you are with us tonight and jumping on the call. And welcome. Go ahead and start sharing what you have for us.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to sharing. So I thought it would probably be good to just kind of tell my story a little bit to start so that you'll understand why I chose social media as the way to build my business. So I joined Young Living in November of 2013, and we had just put our house on the market. We lived in Nashville at the time, and I had actually told Christy Tart, my sponsor, that I was not going to sign up because I had way too many things going on in my life, and I didn't want to try to learn how to use oil in the middle of all that. But then through some different circumstances, I decided to just go for it, and I got my kit, and I fell in love, and I knew right away that I wanted to share the oils with everyone that I knew. The only problem is that I was about to move away from everyone I knew and move to a new city, Phoenix, Arizona, where I didn't know anybody. So I was kind of like, well, I want to do the business, but how in the world am I going to do this? Because, you can't exactly have classes and invite people when you don't know anyone. So I just decided, well, I would just start with the people that I already knew there in Nashville before I moved. And ironically, most of my friends signed up with a mutual friend of mine who lives in Nashville still, and we are wonderful cross-line friends. And so I got to practice doing a couple classes with, in real life, and I had a good time doing them, and I'm glad I did them. But my business didn't start taking off until I started sharing on social media. And for me, Facebook has been kind of my playground for a long time. It's where I share my joys. It's where I connect. Now, if you're interested in this oil, come back to me and I'll sell it to you. I never did anything like that. But what I would do is I created a group on Facebook, and I basically I would share about what I was doing with the oils. I'd post a picture of my diffuser with my kids or whatever, just anything that I was doing with my oils. And then I would say, if you want to know more, let me know, and I'll invite you into my group. It's a private group. I had the privacy settings really high just because I know not everybody wants everyone around them to know that they're investigating something. And so I would invite people into that group. And very quickly, people started signing up with me, and then those people who were in the group started adding their people that were interested into the group. And that group grew, and my downline started growing. And I had no idea network marketing was until I reached the rank of executive. I'd never even heard the term. I was just like, oils are cool, sign up. I had no clue. And then my network started expanding, obviously, through that group. But it was just an easy outlet for me to share what I loved. And once people told me that they were interested and they wanted in my group, then at that point, when someone tells you, they say, yes, I'm interested, I'd like to know more. You're not being salesy anymore. You're answering their questions and you're being helpful. And so that group became a really wonderful place of just answering questions and helping people to find out if the oils would work for them. And it was great. And so that's kind of how it started for me. You know, I was living in an apartment for a couple of months when we first moved, and before our house was ready to move into. And so, I mean, I was just like typing away on my computer, doing stuff in my group, talking to people, answering messages, and just using social media to build my business. And it worked for me. You know, I didn't have, I moved away from basically all my friends and my support system, but the beauty of, I guess what I'm trying to say is the beauty of social networking is that you can still stay connected to all those people and you still have a voice into people's lives and you still have a way to say, I care, I think you might be interested in this. And so using whatever those tools are, so for me, Facebook has been a huge part of it. Lately, I've been really exploring Instagram and Twitter. I'm on there. I don't always know what I'm doing, but I try to use it. And there's just so many different platforms that come out. And whenever they do, if it's something that works for you, there are experts in all of those areas that you can take their classes and learn how all the nuances of how to use it. But ultimately, what really matters is that you are putting stuff out there to your network and to anyone who's interested in your being a part of your network, and you have a chance to show them something and introduce them into, to using the oils, whether it's like that person from grade school that randomly friended you and you have no idea, you haven't talked to them in ages, or if it's like your BFF who you moved across the country from and that you still talk all the time. Whatever types of relationships you have with people through your social network, you have an opportunity to engage with them and to possibly get them interested into your business. So that's kind of my story and how I got started, and how I kind of see the connection between your social network, your online network and network marketing. It's a perfect pairing in my mind. So that's kind of a couple things that I wanted to share. And then I kind of wanted to talk about, like, now that you have these people who are interested and they're in your groups or they're following you on your Instagram or your Twitter or whatever, like, how do you get people to actually stay engaged with you and to maybe make that leap from just following along to actually being a part of your downline in your community? So I wrote down a few things that I recommend that you just always kind of keep in the forefront of your mind when you're putting together, whether you're just on your own personal page or if you do have groups or anything like that, wherever you're posting, these are some of the things that I think are important. These are kind of my own personal goals and my filters, so I know how and what I'm going to be posting about. So the first thing that I'll mention is that whenever you make a post, you have a chance to inspire someone to catch their attention. And the best way to catch someone's attention is by, well, first of all, on all of these platforms, is with good photos. Like, you can't take bad, dark, blurry pictures and then expect someone to be like, oh, that's so cool. It's just not going to happen. So taking good photos, trying to have beautiful things, telling a story as well with whatever it is that you're posting. And, there's a lot of people who are kind of nervous about posting now because of compliance, but let me tell you, there are so many things that are easy to talk about when it comes to our oils that are compliant. You just have to challenge yourself to find what they are and then do it. So it can't be an excuse to not post and to not share. So you have to kind of get over that hurdle, figure out how you're going to attack, telling those good, great stories that are going to catch people's attention and really draw them into the possibilities of what's possible with the oil. But you really have to inspire people. The next thing that I wanted to mention is that whatever you post, you need to be engaging. So things like asking questions, getting people to think, teach something, show someone how something's done. So it's just that you have a chance to add value into someone's life by what you're posting and to be engaging in that process. So whether I'm posting on my personal page or my Instagram or in our groups, I really try to make sure anytime I post something that it's not fluff, it's not a time waster, that it actually does add value into someone's life. Because if it adds value, not only will they appreciate that post that you did, but they're going to come back for more. And that's really important. So to be engaging is really important. Add value into people's life. The next thing I was going to mention is that it's really important for you to be relatable. When you show people kind of like who you really are and how you're actually using oils and how you're living your life and whether or not you're even talking about oils, but no matter what it is, if you're just being yourself, you're being relatable, and you're putting positive things out onto your, into your social network, then people start feeling connected to you. They start having like, yeah, me too type moments, and they feel like, yeah, you know what, this is someone that I, relate to, and you know what, she loves oils, maybe I love oils. So, I mean, it seems kind of like silly to say, but you just really have to attract people. And that funny little saying I keep seeing pop up in like those little memes, but your vibe attracts your tribe. So the vibe that you're putting out on social media is going to attract the types of people into your organization that you want. So if you want happy, oil-loving people, then you need to be a happy, oil-loving person while you're sharing. So good stuff. Another thing that I wanted to just mention is it's really important to be authentic. And I think this is probably the biggest point for people who feel like, I don't want to be a salesperson, I don't want to come off as just trying to get their money, or that whole mental hurdle that a lot of people have. I think if you can challenge yourself to just always be really authentic in everything you post, whether it's you talking about, your day, to you talking about how these oils are changing your life, to just anything that you say, if you put it out there, to make sure that it really does come across and come out as what you truly believe, and if you're in a place of curiosity yourself about something when it comes to the oils, then share that. If you're in a place of feeling passionately about something, then share that. Whatever you're going through, just be authentic and share that. And I think that is another way that people just feel connected with you. So it's important. And then the last thing that I was going to talk about is anytime you do anything on social media, you absolutely have to be intentional and consistent. So if you are the kind of person who just occasionally hops on social media and you might occasionally say something about oils, but you don't even hardly even talk about your normal life, people are going to look at you a little bit suspect. If Facebook will even put you in their newsfeed in the first place, but that's a whole other thing. But when it comes to social media, you have to be super consistent. You have to post daily or several times a day or weekly or whatever your posting schedule is. Be consistent with it, because people have to trust that they're going to be able to come back to you for information, that this isn't a passing fad. If I just posted consistently for a year about oils and then the next year I don't post anything about oils, there's a good chance people are going to start to think I don't do it anymore. So no matter, when it comes to social media, people absolutely need to see that you are being consistent. Back in the day when I used to blog, that was a key component to having people return to your blog, was you always had to have fresh, new, constantly putting new things out there. So it's important to be consistent. It draws people in, and they'll keep coming back for more if they know that they can count on you and depend on you for information, all that kind of stuff. I also think when you're being purposeful, intentional, and you're being consistent, it shows people that you care about what you're sharing about. It shows that you care about them, and it can really just, if you're thinking intentionally all the time about what can I post, then you're you're going to be thinking of how can I help people? How can I teach people something? How can I reach out and connect with this person? And that, when it comes from that place of, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm passionate about. I care about this. I want to connect with people. Then people who are looking to be connected with and looking to have those types of relationships, you're going to be a natural person in their mind when they think about all of this. So being consistent is very important. I've heard over the years a lot of people say, I have a friend who signed up with someone who wasn't me, and as soon as I told them, well, you should have signed up with me because I do oils too, then they almost always say, oh, I had no idea that you do that. I totally would have bought from you if I'd known. Well, a big way around that is to just show people that you're a product of the product, that you're using the oils, that, this is something that is important to you and it's not going away. You're going to be consistent with it. It's a part of your life. And when you use social media to do that, it really makes you available to a lot of people, and that's a really good thing. So, so those are kind of the main things I wanted to talk about tonight. Robin, is there any questions about anything you want me to share about?
Well, I know that Randy and I are sitting here taking lots and lots of notes, and wow, you gave us the five items that you talked about, Jamie, are so refreshing and so I'm almost speechless, and I'm like, okay, yep, this is exactly what we need to do. Social media has not been, a way that Randy and I have built our business, but we want to use it to reach out to people. And I want to thank you from Randy and I, because just the inspire someone, being engaged, adding value, relatable, being authentic, being intentional and consistent. I appreciate how you laid that out for us and the callers. I have a question for you. What would you say, Jamie, what percentage, you absolutely picked up when you started your new Young Living business, you actually left the city that you were from and your friends and relatives and all that. When you started using the Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, or whatever it may have been, what percentage of your group would you say were people that you really, really didn't know that well, but yet, you knew years back, whether it was high school or what it was, can you kind of, and I know you can't be exact, but what number would you say it was that helped you grow your business? How many did you reach out to that you were not close to that helped you build your business?
Well, I would have to say some of my key people are definitely family and close friends, because they are the first people that I, of course, shared about and talked to. You always practice on the people who are closest to you. But then, honestly, it was, I would have to say, like 90%. I mean, it was majority.
Wow.
So, I mean, I was a silver I had reached the rank of silver, and I had not taught like an actual class, besides the couple I had done in Nashville where I hadn't signed anybody up when I like the first one. So I was a silver before I actually held a class, and I definitely could not have reached gold if I had not done classes, because it can only take you so far, but I mean, there's still a lot of value. Even the people that I've taught classes to and invited them into my groups, a lot of my aftercare for my members is done online. So it was a large portion, and I've met a lot of great people because of it too, which is, because when I have my network, but then my network starts reaching out to their network, and you start meeting so many people, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's all been through social media, so I have a lot of great friends that I'm looking forward to meeting.
That blows me away. I think that is absolutely fantastic, and that is how social media can help people build their Young Living business. I mean, 90%, that is phenomenal. Randy's got a question for you.
So, Jamie, so looking at your business today, how much of your new enrollees come through social media versus classes?
You know, I just kind of mentioned that I don't think I would have reached gold if I hadn't started doing in-person classes. But at the same time, I've been pretty intentional about trying to expand my online network too. Like, there's a lot of ways you can expand your online network by your interests. So I got really interested in Bible journaling, and so I joined a ton of Facebook groups, and I've met some really nice people through that. I search hashtags on Instagram, and I find people to follow that are interesting, and I've been building new online relationships with people through social media, which has been good based on my interests. Things that I know I'm going to like these people, so I try to find them, and I'd say it's about half and half at this point. Like, I still get as many enrollments from either new people that I've met online or people that I've briefly met in real life, but we connect online. Anytime I meet someone who's interested in the oils, before I'm even really like, hey, let me tell you about the starter kit. Before I even get to any of that, I'm like, hey, how can we connect? Are you on Facebook? Let's connect. Because if I can get them in my network, then I'll have a chance to actually build a relationship with them, which could result in them being in my network. So I definitely think you have to have relationships with people. That's why it is network marketing. It's not cold call marketing. You have to have a relationship with someone on some level for them to want to be a part of your team. And so that's what I try to do.
Okay, Jamie. So for the person out there that's listening that thinks that they want to really launch into a social media type deal, what are the first 2 or 3 things that they need to do as far as setting up a Facebook account or Twitter account or however they're going to approach it? And then what do they need to do in order to get that ball rolling?
Well, I think most people are somewhat, Facebook's been around long enough. Most people kind of know how to do the basics of that. And if they don't, then my biggest suggestion is find someone who does know what they're doing and have them educate you on how the actual, platform works. Like Instagram, for instance, lately I have been trying to learn, all the nuances of it. And so I'm trying to find Instagram experts that I can take classes from. There's so many, email lists you can sign up for how to do this or how to do that. But you really kind of have to find someone who knows what they're doing and ask questions so that you can get started. And then once you understand, how the actual platform works, how do I post or how does this actually work, then from there you can kind of take the things that I talked about for, what you actually put, into that space that you're creating.
Okay.
So
we got about 5 minutes left, so I want to unmute everybody and open it up for questions for Jamie. So, one at a time, or just go ahead and we'll pick somebody.
Who's got a question for Jamie?
Jamie, this is Britta Voss. I had a question for you. How often would you say you would post through within a week, within 7 days? I mean, you don't want to bombard your friends and family or your network, but you also like.
Well, it depends. So on Instagram, I post 3 times a day, and there's different programs that you can sign up for to kind of tell you the best time of day to post, and it tracks all your information. So Instagram is a lot. I post on there 3 times a day. Facebook, I try to post in all my groups at least once a day, and I have 3 groups that I run. I have kind of a seeker, I call it my Oily Curious group, and then I have our members only group, and then I have a business group. And so I try to post at least once a day in those. And then as far as just my own personal Facebook page, I just post as life happens. So usually that's probably once a day for me. So honestly, when it comes to what I was talking about earlier with being consistent is with almost all these platforms, like on Facebook, if you don't post, their algorithms, the way that they keep track of everything, like you're not going to show up if you only post once a week. You have to post daily or more often, or else you start getting hid from people.
How does it? What did you say the program is for Instagram? It tracks what is higher traffic.
Let's see. What is it? I use Iconosquare. The name of it. It's you can keep track of a lot of data on Instagram specifically.
Okay, thank you.
That's nice. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, who else?
I think what it all comes down to is relationships. So I don't think you can just start a social media to recruit people into your business. I think it has to be an overflow of your life and into the relationships that you already have with people in your life. So I think that's probably really key.
Yeah, I loved how you said that, Jamie. Really, how you started. You said you just shared what you loved, and you basically were sharing how you and your hubby and your boys, how you were actually using the oils. You never sold them, but all you were showing people is how you were using them, and that created questions, and that created interest.
And people will ask if they're interested, and it's very nice to not have to hound people, but rather have them come to you.
Absolutely. Well, and the number 2, you talked about adding value to people's lives, and Randy and I started a writing course a while back, and one of the things that they talked about was that exact thing. If we're not adding value to people's lives, which was your number 2, being engaged in really diving in and immersing yourself into how do I say this? Really wanting to help others, asking important questions. We have learned through this that if you don't bring value, people are just going to scroll right past you.
Yep. And if you are adding value, they'll come search you out. It's awesome.
Well, exactly. And I've learned that even on Instagram. I look at how many hits certain people are getting. I mean, this one lady I'm following, man, she gets like 214,000 hits a day, and I'm like, okay, why? So I've been watching her, just say, okay, what? But I can tell you why. I mean,
totally.
She's a mother of 2 beautiful children, just like yourself, and she's been on it long enough. And when she says something or writes something, it's like, I want to know what that is because it adds value to my life.
Yeah.
And so I loved your number 2. For everybody that's on the call tonight, I just learned, and Jamie, you may already know this, but the infographics that are on Vital 180 are set up to use on Instagram as well. And I didn't know that till yesterday morning. Jamie, have you been able to use did you know that already?
I did know that because they're in the square format, which makes it really easy. But I have to say that for me, for my Instagram, it has to be very personal in order for it to connect with people. And sometimes infographics are not as personal, and so people scroll past them a little bit more. When it comes to certain platforms, Instagram is definitely people are on there looking for a glimpse into your life. They're not looking to be educated on something. They want you to entertain them, make it pretty, that kind of thing. So
true.
Instagram,
you're right. That's absolutely true.
Kind of it's key. So
like I said, I wonder why do I like to go back to certain pages, and it's
I
not
use
an
a lot of the Vital 180 infographics are great in my groups where people are literally in there to be educated. So I use a lot of those in my groups because there's so much information on them, or they're a nice platform to add information. So for my groups that are super educational, infographics are awesome. Instagram and on my personal page, I definitely stick more to my own personal overflow of how the oils are in my life. And on Instagram specifically, I try to make them look real pretty. You can come find me if you want. Joyfully Jamie.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Say that again.
Joyfully Jamie.
Name of it,
That's
Jamie?
my Instagram. Joyfully Jamie. Yay.
Joyfully Jamie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's 8:33, so
Yeah.
Jamie, we appreciate you so much sharing. A lot of the callers don't know, Jamie's just been extremely successful quite quickly doing the social media and has shared some amazing tips with us tonight. And we want to thank you, Jamie. We want to thank all the people that attended the call, and it will be. Thank you,
and I just
Jamie.
wanted to add one quick thing.
Oh, sure.
This is always a question that comes up about social media is what if you have people who are not on social media? And my answer to that is Vital 180. That's an awesome website. For anybody you have that's like, I'm not getting on Facebook, I don't want to do that, social media overwhelms them, Vital 180 is your answer. So
love it.
I love that.
Oh, Scott Brennan would appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm glad you threw that in.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks again. Everybody enjoy the rest of their weekend.
Thank you.